Alright guys, big topic this week. Thought it is a great time to talk about it as well, given just a couple of things that have happened around the gym. So let's talk about training with / through pain. Big educational one, so please make sure you watch this to the end, because I don't think there is anyone that would not benefit from this video, because you're going to learn something from it. And I guess something that's important for me as a coach is if I can give people lifelong education on how to continue training for the rest of their life, then hey, I've done something. So please make sure that you watch this, especially if this is relevant for you, which I think it is for a lot of people. One thing that I really want to stress before getting into any of it is to remind you guys down here, we are coaches, not physios, so seek the right help when you need it. It is up to you to make that call. If you choose not to go seek help from an allied health professional, someone who is trained and educated to help you with pain, then that is on you. We are here as coaches to help you exercise properly, so to make sure your movement is correct when you do things, to help you gauge in regards to loading, to honestly suggest when you need to go and seek help from somebody else. We are here in a way to not help with your pain, not to diagnose. We are not here to diagnose your pain. We are here to ask questions, to maybe give you some more clarity around it. We can do tests to help, I guess, determine what movements are causing you pain and to suggest how to avoid those and what you can do instead. An example of this being, if you're getting back pain, okay? I can't tell you, Jai can't tell you, Darian can't tell you what is causing your back pain or what exactly it is, because that is not our job. We might be able to do some tests and go, okay, right now jumping seems to be giving you a lot of pain because we've done a simple jumping test and you've got more than a 4 out of 10 pain in that jumping test. So you're not going to do any box jumps if there's a class. Instead, you're going to do a weighted step up, because anything that is dynamic is causing something that is hurting your back. So then you go see a physio and you continue doing weighted step ups and you avoid any kind of jumping, because just to remind you guys, the answer of fixing pain is never to just avoid or rest. It's about figuring out, okay, how can I train in a way that doesn't give me pain. So we help you figure out what moves you can do instead, not what your pain is. This is a way for you guys to gauge if you need to see somebody, an allied health professional, or not. Like I said, just be really mindful, we are coaches, not physios. We can't tell you we can tell you when you should go see one. But remember, this is really relative and it's in your hands. Okay, the pain scale, only you can tell us or figure out for yourself how much pain you're feeling. Only you get to decide whether you choose to continue that movement if it's hurting, or if you decide to stop and ask for help. Nothing wrong with that. Put your ego down. So a lot of this is honestly, this is on you guys, okay? So let's talk about the pain scale, because this is a really great way to help you gauge how to make smart and healthy and decisions based on your training that are going to help you with longevity. So this means training for as long as you can, okay? Which we should be aiming for, it's so important. The pain scale. If you are doing something and you feel more than a 4 out of 10 pain, stop. So straightforward. So I'm not really going to spend much time on it, okay? So that's a really great way to kind of gauge, like, oh, I'm doing an overhead press and it's, oh my god, like this definitely doesn't feel right. I feel like it's slightly fine. 10 is like the most painful I'm experiencing. This is about a 6. Why the F am I still doing that? Okay, stop. This is a rough guideline of when to and when not to continue training. So, when to continue training? If it's restriction, not pain. So once again, this is on you to be aware of how your body is feeling. Is it genuine pain? Is it sharp? Is it hot? Or is it like this feels tight? This is a restriction because my body, I'm struggling with hamstring mobility, so an RDL feels a little bit restricted, but it's not actually pain. On you to be focused on what you're feeling in that present moment, and then to decide. If it's restriction, it is safe to continue training. seek your coach, because we'll tell you if it's correct or not, and the pain is less than 4 out of 10, that's okay. If it's training stimulus pain, so not regular pain, what this means, you're in the peak of a session and oh my god, this hurts because I've been doing so many reps and like man, my body, my muscles are screaming, like I'm under a lot of tension. If you choose to opt out of the training stimulus pain and you know it's training stimulus pain, not actual unusual pain, that's on you if you don't want to train that hard, okay? If it's training stimulus pain and you are determined enough to push through, that's fine. Just want to remind you guys as well that it's relative. If you are exhausted and you're not wanting to go as hard in a session, then you might not want to get to that point. But if you're constantly referring to your training stimulus pain as unusual pain, either because, I don't know, you're not entirely sure, or you're just choosing not to work that hard, then that, like I said, it's on you. When not to. If it's more than a 4 out of 10, hello? It's sharp or hot, etc. It's really aching in the moment you're doing it. That's not normal. It's your body telling you that there's something wrong. It's literally telling you there's something wrong. It doesn't seem or feel right. Overhead press should feel fine. Doesn't feel right. I'm getting sharp pain. Well, don't do it. Ask yourself, this is a really good one, is it safe, is it effective? Well, it doesn't seem or feel right, then it's probably not safe and it's probably not effective, so it's not actually doing anything for you, so why would you continue doing it? Another hard to swallow pill. When your ego takes over your body's needs. I don't even know if I need to elaborate on this, but pretty much like, just don't do it. Like, if your body is genuinely saying this isn't right, but you're like, nah, I can do it, like, class is doing it, I'm going to do it, I can't ask for help from a coach, I look weak, well that's on you then as well, okay? A really good question to ask yourself if you're doing a movement that is causing you pain, is it safe, is it effective? If it's not both of those things, then there is no point in you doing it. Once again, I want to remind you guys that if you are getting pain, it is not about just completely taking time off from the gym, because if you just rest until it feels better and then you come back and you do the exact same thing, then you're not actually changing a movement pattern that maybe needs to be corrected, and you're not changing a muscle that needs to be strengthened or a restriction that needs to be worked through. So this is to remind you that, okay, I'm getting pain in deadlifts, maybe I don't do deadlifts, but I do other things that are going to help me strengthen my deadlifts so that when my pain is gone, I can get back to deadlifting without pain. Okay? That is super, super important. That is pretty much the board. I really want to encourage you guys to take control of your training. Yes, we're here to guide you, but I guess my goal is I want to give everyone the power to make their own decisions. This is your training. You are responsible for it. We are here so much to help you guys, but we also are aware that, well, we want to make sure that you can do it on your own as well. Like you shouldn't be dependent on us. So this is a great way to educate you on, making safe decisions when it comes to pain in training. Remember that injuries are common. We've all had them. I've had more than my fair bloody share. Jai has, Darian has. It just comes down to, it's part of training. Sometimes you get hurt, it happens. We misjudge things, we load too much, we don't assess that our nutrition's poor, our sleep is poor, so we're not as aware or alert when we're training. These things happen, injuries do happen. I think that they are and can be a wonderful thing to happen to us, because we can learn so much about our resilience and our body's resilience to recover and get back and better to where we were before. I know that my injuries have taught me so much about, being humbled by my body, being grateful for what it can do, and giving myself self-care when needed, and then also being appreciative of having allied health professionals and people to help you get back to where you were or better. Another thing that we want to touch on is like the whole mentality of like, oh my god, what if I stop playing it, and like I'm gonna lose all my progress, and like I don't want to lose my progress because I've been doing really, really well, and I'm lifting heavier than I've ever have been, and my legs are looking really good. So like if I take time off because I'm hurting, my leg in this, then like I'm gonna lose all my progress. So I remind you guys that you won't actually particular movement because you're getting pain in it, you're not setting your training back at all. You're setting yourself back more by continuing to train through it because there's going to be a tipping point, okay? Whether it's now or whether it's in the future doing something different, there is always a tipping point. So pain is not normal. Let's talk about it a little bit more. Let's seek help when we need it. Please, if you've got any questions or you want to talk about this,